We'll be discussing right now the Chapter 3 for the National Building Code of the Philippines. It is all about permits and inspection. Section 301, Building Permits, it states, no person, firm, or corporation, including any agency or instrumentality of the government shall erect, construct, alter, repair, move, convert, or demolish any building or structure or cause the same to be done without first obtaining a building permit. Therefore, from the building official assigned in the place where the subject building is located or the building work is to be done. It means that for anything that you should be going to do related to a structure, erecting a structure, or renovating a structure, you should always obtain first a building permit before proceeding the construction. Section 302 states that it is about application for permits. In order to obtain a building permit, the applicant shall file an application, therefore in writing and or prescribed form from the office of the building official. Every application shall provide at least the following information. First, a description of the work to be covered by the permit applied for. Of course, you have to state everything that will be involved during the construction or renovation so that the building official will know what to inspect. Second is a certified true copy of the TCT or title transfer certificate of title of the land covered by the permit applied for, covering the lot on which the proposed work is to be done, and if ever is the applicant not a registered owner, in addition to the transfer certificate of title, he or she should furnish a copy of the contract of lease to be submitted to the building official. This exception is being stated is because there are instances that the owner of the building or the structure to be constructed or to be renovated is either he or she is owning it or is just renting it. So if the owner is owning it, the only thing that he or she needs to produce is the transfer certificate of title. However, if he or she is just renting it, then he needs to produce the contract of lease plus get also a copy of the transfer certificate of title under the owner's name of the land. Then the use or occupancy for which the proposal work is intended, it means that you have to state what is the purpose of doing the structure and for whatever occupancy you are going to do in that structure. And then fourth is the estimated cost of the proposed work. Of course, so this is to know for the building official knowledge. This is for the building official's knowledge to know the cost of the project. Then to be submitted all four together with such application with at least 5 sets or 5 copies each of the 4 requirements of corresponding plans and specifications prepared means all of your blueprint copies, you need to secure 5 copies each, and all of these 4 requirements, you need to secure 5 copies each, signed and sealed by a duly registered mechanical engineer in case of mechanical plans, and by a registered electrical engineer in case of electrical plans, except in those cases exempted or not required by the building official under this code. It means that since there are some buildings that involve mechanical um, plans like elevator or other mechanical equipment or machinery, and electrical, of course, electrical, it is always involved, not just simply like having wirings for the lightings of your structure. So aside from the signature of the civil engineer, you also need the signature of the electrical engineer. You've needed for the mechanical engineer. Processing of building permits in 303. It shall be under the overall administrative control or supervision of the building official and his technical staff, qualified professionals. In processing an application for a building permit, the building official shall see to it that the applicant satisfies and conforms with approved standard requirements on zoning and land use. So you have to remember that zoning and land use, including lines and grades, structural design, sanitary, and sewerage. Also, environmental health, electrical and mechanical safety, as well as with other rules and regulations promulgated in accordance with the provision of this code. So these highlighted things are the important considerations for the building official to see that your application for a building permit satisfies the requirements of this code. Actually, attach along with your application will be the paperwork or the form documents attached um, for this mentioned considerations or requirements like the zoning, land use, and so on. Section 304 is the issuance of building permits. When satisfied that the work described in an application for building permit and the plans and specifications submitted therewith conform with the requirements of this code and other pertinent rules and regulations, the building official shall, within 15 days from payment of the required fees by the applicant, issue the building permit applied for. This means that if your application satisfies all the requirements from the building official, then you can expect building permit to be released. The building official may issue a permit for the construction of only a part or portion of the building or structure whenever the plans and specifications submitted together with the application do not cover the entire building or structure. So in this part, wherein it's only a part or a portion, it corresponds to something like a renovation of a portion of the structure. Approved plans and specifications shall not be changed, modified. So this highlighted shall not be changed, modified, or altered without the approval of the building official, and the work shall be done strictly in accordance thereto. So for whatever you have submitted to the building official stating that, oh, this is the work that is going to be done, even if you as the owner change plans to something like, oh, I want to extend more renovation, you still have to update or inform the building official of the future alteration that you want to do, so that their office is also updated, and the application is also updated, so that everything will be in accordance to this code. Section 305 is the validity of building permits. The issuance of a building permit shall not be construed as an approval or authorization to the permitted to disregard or violate any of the provisions of this code. Whenever the issuance of a permit is based on approved plans and specifications which are subsequently found defective, the building official is not precluded from requiring permitted to effect the necessary corrections in said plans and specifications, or from preventing or ordering the stoppage of any building operations being carried on thereunder which are in violation of this code. It means that for whatever things being or work being done on the construction or renovation which is not in accordance to the approved permit, then the building official can suggest a correction or even order a stoppage of the work or operation, so that everything should always fall under what is being suggested in accordance to this code. A building permit issued under the provision of this code shall expire and become null and void if the building or work authorized therein is not commenced within a period of 1 year from the date of such permit. So it means that once you get the building permit, you have to really do and start the construction or renovation within a period of 1 year, because if you started the work beyond 1 year, then the permit is no longer valid. And or if the building or work so authorized is suspended or abandoned at any time after it has been commenced for a period of 120 days. So there's also a limit as to when is the validity of the permit that you got. Section 306, non-issuance, suspension or revocation of building permits. The building official may order or cause the non-issuance, suspension, or revocation of building permits on any or all of the following reasons or grounds. First is errors found in the plans and specifications. Second is incorrect or inaccurate data or information supplied. And the third, non-compliance with the provisions of this code or of any rule or regulations. So you need to be careful once you are submitting or applying for a building permit. You should avoid all these three. And then notice of non-issuance, suspension, or revocation of building permit shall always be made in writing, stating the reason or grounds therefor. Section 307. Appeal within 15 days from the date of receipt of advice of the non-issuance, suspension, or revocation of permits, the applicant or permittee may file an appeal with the Secretary, who shall render his decision within 15 days from the date of receipt of notice of appeal. The decision of the Secretary shall be final, subject only to review by the Office of the President. So it means that even if you are advised for the non-issuance, suspension, or revocation of permits, still you have a second chance to file for appeal within 15 days of the receipt of the notice. Section 308, Inspection and Supervision of Work. The owner of the building who is issued or granted a building permit under this code shall engage the services of a duly licensed architect or civil engineer to undertake the full-time inspection and supervision of the construction work. Such architect or civil engineer may or may not be the same architect or civil engineer who is responsible for the design of the building. It is understood, however, that in either case, the designing architect or civil engineer is not precluded from conducting inspection of the construction work to check and determine compliance with plans and specifications of the building as submitted. There shall be kept at the job site at all times a logbook wherein the actual progress of construction, including tests conducted, weather conditions, and other pertinent data are to be recorded. It is very important to, as a reminder, that a logbook should be there in the job site for the updates of the phases of construction, including the mentioned tests, weather conditions, and other pertinent data. Upon completion of the construction, the said licensed architect or civil engineer shall submit the logbook, duly signed and sealed, to the building official. He shall also prepare and submit a certificate of completion of the project stating that the construction of the building conforms to the provisions of this code as well as with approved plans and specifications. Section 309, Certificate of Occupancy. No building or structure shall be used or occupied, and no change in the existing use or occupancy classification of a building, structure, or portion thereof shall be made until the building official has issued the certificate of occupancy, therefore as provided in this code. A certificate of occupancy shall be issued by the building official within 30 days if after final inspection and submittal of a certificate of completion referred in the preceding section, it is found that the building or structure complies with the provisions of this code. The certificate of occupancy shall be posted or displayed in a conspicuous place on the premises and shall not be removed except upon order of the building official. This is the certificate allowing for the owner to occupy and use the structure being built or renovated. The non-issuance, suspension, or revocation of certificate of occupancy and the procedure for appeal therefrom shall be governed in so far as applicable by the provisions of Section 306 and 307 of this code. And that ends for our discussion in Chapter 3. Then you may check our discussion for the National Building Code of the Philippines, Chapter 4, in the next video.